Are you struggling to manifest what you want or have been trying to manifest something for years and it's still not happening? Well, join my 21-day manifestation challenge, which starts in January. You will be part of the manifest movement. Don't have FOMO, fear of manifesting out. Join the challenge at pausepenny.com. We are rolling. Welcome to the manifest movement. What is up? Guess what? I am in the Irish Independent today talking about manifesting money. And to say, I was kind of shitting myself about this article because I'm like, things can be taken out of context. I'll give you an example. 2 years ago, I did an article, Money and Me, for another big Irish newspaper, and it was just kind of like a Q&A on how you spend money. And I had said something along the lines of, I really wanted to make sure that I was financially independent in my own right because my mom always had to ask my dad for money, which is true. That's what it was like in the 80s. A lot of women stayed at home from work. That is just the reality. And oh my God, the headline was something along the lines of, my mom always had to ask my dad for money and I never wanted that to be me. And I got killed by some people, especially people who knew my mom. They messaged me and they were like, if I was your mother, I would be so angry. It's like, hello, it's the truth. It is the way society was. And if you're getting angry about it, what is wrong with females or males wanting to be financially independent? So what I say is get a grip. So the newspaper article today says it's something along the lines of nobody ever went blind from looking on the bright side. So I'm going to tell a couple of stories. Today we're going to be talking about how manifestation is not about what you want. It's about who you are and how you show up in the world. So one way you can look at it is, who am I becoming? And also, who am I unbecoming, right? So like, what do you need to let go of? And believe me, everybody has shit they need to let go of. Everyone, including me. And I'm going to tell you some of my stories of all the little things that I need to let go of, all the little things that trigger me. And I have to ask myself, but why? Why is this annoying you, right? So let's talk about, firstly, I said I was in the Irish Independent, right? But 2 weeks ago, my friend Sinead, who owns does travel business and has the aesthetic wear socks and clothing, the manifest socks. I'm wearing them today underneath my boots, manifesting miracle socks. Wild story about those socks, actually, about a girl who's manifesting a baby, and she used to wear the socks visualizing, and they told her that you won't get pregnant. It would be a miracle, and she's having twins. So there you go, manifesting miracle socks, visualize and wear the socks. But anyway, so Sinead was like, this was a few weeks ago, I've been asked by the Independent would I be interviewed for teaching, and about teaching, the teaching profession, and what she thinks about it. Because she has made her voice clear that she has left teaching and how broken the system is, right, in Ireland. And she was like, oh, Yvonne, what do you think? Should I do it? And I said, go for it. Put your voice out there. Show, this is such a good opportunity. It's such good exposure. Well done. And she was like, okay, I'll do it. And then 2 weeks later, I get asked what I do on manifestation and money. And what I would say about this is, the universe will show you things not to make you jealous, but to show you what's available to you. So like, I could have been like, oh, I want to be in the paper, or whatever it is that you want in your life, the baby, the soulmate, and everybody else seems to be getting what you want. The universe is showing you the possibilities and what is available to you. It's not showing you to make you jealous. So the words that I use when that happens is, universe, me next, me next. So when Sinead got in the paper, I was like, oh, I'd like to be in an article. But I didn't do anything about it. I just said it in my head, and me next, and bang, I'm in the Irish Independent, right? Talking about manifesting money. So one thing that is really, really important is, who are you becoming? You need to think about letting go of jealousy. Jealousy around what other people have that you might want to have, because there is space for everyone and there is space for you too. If somebody else has what you want, then you just need to be like, me next, me next, right? Excuse me. So when I got asked, and this is who are you becoming as well. So after I had that incident with the article a couple of years ago, which, by the way, if you read it, the Money and Me article was the most read article in the Irish Times of that year. It was one of the most read articles, right? The top read articles, probably because of the title. And I thought, so when I got contacted by the Irish Independent to say, would I like to do an article? I was like, oh, I'm not so sure about this. I'm just not sure about it because they can twist your words, but not only that, it is a really sensitive topic, talking about money, especially when we're living in an economy where prices of food are going up, and it's really challenging for people to get housing. And I was like, oh, you know what? If I'm talking about money and manifesting money, and when you put those two words together, people are just like, piss off. So I showed it to my husband. He was like, are you going to do that? And I was like, I'm not sure. And he's like, are you sure you want to do that? And then I thought, you know what? I am going to do it because I have to be true to my authentic self. I have to put myself out there, even if I feel like I might be ridiculed, or my peers or whatever might say to me, you sound crazy. But if this is what I fundamentally believe in and I know, then I have to put myself out there. So you have to show up authentically as who you are, becoming that version of you that is not scared to show up as your authentic self, that is not scared of other people's opinions, that's not worried about what other people think of you. Because if you are thinking about what other people think of you, it is always going to hold you back. Whether it's you want to leave a relationship, oh, what will the neighbors say? What will my parents say? What will my siblings say? Or if it's you're in your 40s and you want to have a baby, what will people think? Who gives a shit? This is your life. This is your journey, right? So I made the decision that I was going to go to and do this interview. And we actually did it in Mr. Magpie, which is a coffee shop close to me. And we were having a conversation, and I was talking about money and how really, like, you do need to work, and like you need to take aligned action, but sometimes you need to let go of how the money is going to come. You just need to focus on where you want to go, and the money will show up. And all about like the podcasts that I've done before. Recently, I did podcasts on abundance and blocks, so go check that one out. But about 20 minutes into the interview, there was a lady sitting beside us, probably same age as me, maybe a little bit older. I didn't know she was there. I didn't really recognize her. I was so deep in conversation with the journalist. And she had a really nice coat on, really well dressed. And she got up and she stood beside myself and the journalist, and she put down two €2 coins. So she put down a €2 coin to the journalist and a €2 coin to me. And I just knew she'd obviously been listening to our conversation. And I looked at her, and her name was Fiona. And I said, oh, are you into manifestation? And she said, absolutely, hugely. It's such a huge part of my life. Like, your thoughts become things, et cetera, et cetera. And I was looking at the journalist and I was like, there you go. And the journalist was saying to me, this is so funny because I recently did my shopping it was like Lidl or Aldi, and I had a euro coin for the shopping cart. Excuse me. And she was like, but I needed a €2 coin. So she was like, now I have my €2 coin. I just manifested €2 coin. And it reminded me of that phrase that's like, it's easy to manifest $1 as it is 1,000,000. It's what's it in The Secret. So I kept saying to myself that I kept that €2 coin. I was like, it's easy to manifest €2 as it is 2 million. And I just kept saying that to myself for the whole day long. I'm like, it's as easy to manifest €2 as it is 2 million. And you might be like, no, no, it isn't. But it's all about the vibrational frequency that you're on and letting go of the how. So I think in some ways I was reluctant to do that. I was reluctant to do the interview, a little bit hesitant. I told the universe, I'm showing up. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be my authentic self. I'm not going to hold back. And in the middle of the interview, it was almost like a sign from the universe. Exactly what you're saying is happening. Someone just puts two €2 coins down on the table, right? So who are you becoming? And the next thing, the unbecoming process. Who do I need to stop being to become who I'm meant to be? Like, what do you need to let go of in your life to become who you're supposed to be? So let me remind you, you are not manifesting what you want. You are manifesting who you are and how you show up in this world. And I think one of the biggest things, and I took this away from the Gabrielle Bernstein talk back in July, was she said that in Ireland, if you're listening from in Ireland, you are listening from the US or the UK, by the way, there's more than 50% of people are listening from the UK, which is a really interesting stat. But let's say in Ireland, typically we can be people pleasers. So we're doing things not because we want to, because we feel guilty and we feel like we have to, and we don't want to hurt people's feelings. So we're showing up to things that we don't necessarily want to. We're saying yes because we feel bad. But the more you continue to be a people pleaser, the more of that will start coming back around in your life. And think about the times when you said yes to stuff and you really don't want to do it. Now, I'm not saying like you'd rather stay in on a Friday night instead of going to your friend's 40th birthday party. Like, we all have to be there for our friends. I get that, right? But I'm saying, like, I'll give you an example. It's so busy in November and December for me. I'm going into the manifestation challenge in January. There's lots of orders that need to go out. We're going through the Christmas period. I'm starting a new subscription service. Like, it's just a really, really busy, busy time for me. And somebody that I've met recently, she helped me with we had a conversation, a coffee over, and she's a business coach and she's really, really good. And she has actually got her own challenge for anybody who wants more clarity in January. And her name's Jen Crawford. So if you're looking to like figure out what you want to do with your life, you can check her out. If you already know what you want to do with your life, you already know what you want to manifest, and join my 21 manifestation challenge. But anyway, I met Jen and she said to me, oh, would you like to speak on my challenge in January? Because I'd like to get a couple speakers in, and it would be, it's good exposure for you. I'm putting you in front of a different audience, which it is. And I really hated saying no. Like, because I would have liked to have done this for her, but I said, I'm sorry. I just have to say no because I'm so busy. I'm so overwhelmed. January is going to be insanely busy for me alone because I have the 21-day manifestation challenge. Then we're going into February, which it's a little bit of a secret, but let me tell you, we're going to have a Patreon subscription and we're doing another challenge in February for anybody that signs up. So like, it's just going to be super busy. But I was like, oh, it's really hard to say no. And then she came back and she's like, oh, it's really great that you're putting boundaries in place. So it's letting go of the parts of you that are pleasing people just because you want to be liked or you feel actually guilty, right? And I get this a lot in business. I get contacted daily. Can you please send us some products? I'm doing a retreat. I'm doing an event. I'm doing this. And instead of just ignoring the people, I just say, like, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry, but like, it's really costly to send product. I just don't gift my product to anybody. Really sorry about that. And people, I have yet to come across somebody who has been annoyed. Like, they've always written something really, really nice. So yeah, so like, another question is, what does the next level you tolerate and prioritize? What kind of behaviors are you tolerating from friends and from family and from relationships? What kind of behaviors are you tolerating? I have a really good friend, and I'm just like, sometimes I think they tolerate behavior from their boyfriend that I just would not accept, right? But it's not it's not my place. It's not my place to say. But what I would say is, think about what you're tolerating. Think about how you were being treated, like way back in the day when I was going out with a guy. I was going out with him for a long time. I thought I was going to marry him. He absolutely broke my heart, right? But he was totally ghosting me when ghosting wasn't a thing back then, the word, but it is now. So that's what he was doing. So eventually what really actually happened was I had to end up breaking up with him because he was too much of a coward to break up with me, but that's clearly what he wanted. And he was cheating on me. So there you go. But what I would say is, I was not going to tolerate this behavior. I was not going to tolerate someone who wasn't going to treat me well. It just wasn't going to happen. And I don't tolerate, like, my husband treats me great now. Like, obviously, I drive him nuts. Like, I do drive him nuts. I'm that, like, annoying person to live with. I really am. But I do. I only tolerate people who respect me. And if you don't, like, you're gone. And that is it. Like, so think about the behaviors that you are going to tolerate, because like I've said, when you're manifesting, the universe knows what you're accepting, the behaviors you're accepting. So if you're dating guys and you are tolerating, or girls, and you're tolerating them not responding to you, not showing up for you, speaking down to you, being possessive, being jealous, looking at your phone, and then maybe you break up, well, then you might get the same the next time, the next time, the next time. If you are not making that decision, no, I'm not accepting this behavior. Goodbye. See you later. Right? So you have to ask yourself, what am I willing to let go of to become who I should be? And that might mean you lose some friends. That might mean that you need to end the relationship. That might mean you don't answer the phone from a family member sometimes. You have got to protect your energy. I was saying this on the baby webinar recently, the Manifesting a Baby webinar, that, like, if you're in a stage of your life where you're trying to manifest something, you're really trying to manifest something hard, like the soulmate, the baby, whatever it is, the abundance, and you have friends or a family member that you know is just going to weigh you down. They are just going to drain the life out of you when you meet them. We all know who that person is. We know it, right? Then you have to think about it like this. You have to think that, like, every time you meet them, they are just pushing you away from your manifestation a little bit and a little bit. Like, they're just pushing you back away from your manifestation. So think of, like, you're at one side of the door and they're on the other side of the door. And you're like, they're just, or one side of a wall and you're at the other side of the wall. And you're pushing the wall forward because you're getting closer to your manifestation. And then you meet them. And then they just push that wall back and back and back. And why is that? Because they're lowering your vibrational frequency. It might take you hours or days after you meet someone to actually get back to baseline and feel like a normal human, because that's how much they take out of you. Now, sometimes we have to be with coworkers. Sometimes we have to be with housemates. Matt Cook said something really interesting in his newsletter recently. He was like, if you're going into situations like that, just visualize a bubble around you. You don't allow it in. You do not allow it in. You are becoming the person that does not allow them to live rent-free in your head. You do not allow their negative energy in. right? You acknowledge, and this is my best line. I love this line. It's a new line for everything. You expect and accept. You expect they're going to be negative and you accept it and you move on instead of complaining about how annoying that they are. And you make the decision, I'm just not going to meet them today. Or if you have to because they're a coworker, you just don't allow it in. You are responsible for controlling your own thoughts. And if someone is triggering you, you have to ask yourself, why am I allowing them to live rent-free in my head? Because that is a you problem. That is not a them problem. It is a you problem. Manifestation is all about you. It's not about them. It's about you. So you figure your shit out. You control your thoughts. So lastly, how does the version of you who already has it show up? I'm going to give you a really good example of this, right? So how are you becoming this person that practices what you preach, right? And I will say this, if you don't practice what you preach, if you say, I'm going to stop people pleasing, I'm going to stop, meeting the people that drain my energy, and you actually don't commit to that and you break it, well, what happens is it's going to happen to you again and again and again until you learn the lesson. So how does the version of me who already has it show up? So I got asked recently to do a corporate workshop for a big corporate, really big corporate. And I gave them my price and they came back and they said, that's out of budget and we can't afford you. Can you give us a discount? And I said, no, that is my price. And that is who I am becoming. I am becoming a speaker who charges this price. And I am not the discount gal. I am not the discount gal. I don't give discounts on all of my products. I don't do the Black Fridays. I am not the discount gal. And that is the price. And I knew in my own self, if they don't take this slot, well, somebody else will. And guess what happened? They came back. They said they'd take it. And I'm in there in 2026. I actually have 2 corporate workshops in November. And I'm speaking in front of the Law Society of Ireland. So show up. So finally, look at who you're becoming. Look at who you want to be in the world. As I've said, you are not manifesting what you want. You're manifesting who you are. You are manifesting how you show up in the world. You are manifesting what you are willing to accept. You are manifesting who you are going to hang out with and the behaviors that you accept. You are manifesting how you control your own thoughts. It all comes back to one thing. It all comes back to one thing. And what is it? It's you. It all comes back to you. You make the decision today. That's it. I'm not accepting this shit anymore. You don't have to do it in a bitchy way. It's just, and show up as that person. Show up as that person with confidence and that knows they are worthy, right? Because it's far easier to say no when you are confident in yourself and you know your self-worth and you don't need to be liked by everyone. You are not here to be liked by everyone. And when I say no to people, if they get annoyed, that is not my problem. It's not my problem. I used to say this when I was living up in California, when I was 13. I used to say, am I wearing my care face? I am not wearing my care face. It's not my problem if you get annoyed because I've said no. I've said no because I have reasons. And by the way, I get lots of no's myself. I get lots of no's on a daily basis myself. I'm still being ghosted by Board Gosh. Kyle Gray said no to me about doing an event with me. No's are coming out all over the place for me. Do I take it personally? No, I do not. Next is what I say. I move on. It's next. So, who are you becoming? What are you letting go of? And this is a perfect time to really start thinking about this before we move in to 2026, a new year. So there you go. Oh, and P.S. join the Manifest Challenge. Get your shit together. Join the challenge. Learn how to manifest the right way. It is going to be such a good vibe. I have so much in store for this Manifest Challenge. It's going to be the first time I don't have a job as a lawyer. So it's going to be amazing. So don't delay. Don't faff around. Make the decision. You're going to show up for yourself and gift yourself the challenge. See ya. Bye, manifestors.